Coco Gauff and Naomi Osaka first tournament of 2026 revealed. Coco Gauff and Naomi Osaka have confirmed their first tournament of the 2026 season as the two tennis stars are set to take part at the United Cup. Gauff, the reigning French Open champion, made her United Cup debut earlier this year. And it was an instant success since the world number 3 went a perfect 5 of 5, including wins over Iga Swiatek and Karolina Muchova, and led the United States to the title. Now, the 21-year-old is ready to return to the event with Taylor Fritz and try to help the United States win back-to-back titles at the team event. In 2026, Japan will make its debut at the United States. Osaka, a 4-time Grand Slam champion, will be representing her country alongside 2019 Wimbledon boys singles champion Shintaro Mochizuki, who is currently enjoying a career-high ranking of number 92 in the world. This season, Osaka started her year in Auckland, where she was up by a set in the final before retiring due to an abdominal injury versus Clara Tauson. Previously, the United Cup also confirmed Iga Swiatek as a participant. The United Cup organizers thrilled to host Gauff, Osaka. The entry list for the United Cup this summer is world-class. We're excited to welcome 5 of the world's top 10 men and 4 of the world's top 10 women in 2026. United Cup Tournament Director Stephen Farrow said. It will be fascinating to see where the likes of Iga Swiatek, Coco Gauff, Alexander Zverev, Alex de Minaur, Taylor Fritz and Jasmine Paolini end up competing. With AO 2019 and 2021 champion Naomi Osaka also leading Team Japan in its United Cup debut, the star power in 2026 is undeniable. The 2026 edition of the United Cup is slated to take place between January 2nd to 11th. With Gauff and Fritz on board, the United States will probably enter as the number 1 favorites. Poland will also be among the top favorites since they will be represented by Swiatek and Hubert Hurkacz. When the calendar finally flipped to 2026, the tennis world paused the way an audience does just before an orchestra begins its overture. Fans held their breath, analysts sharpened their pens, and the sport collectively wondered which stars would set the tone for the new season. And then the news broke, quietly at first like a ripple, but quickly swelling into a wave that washed across social media. Coco Gauff and Naomi Osaka would begin their 2026 season at the same tournament. Not an exhibition. Not a charity event. A real tournament. A real stage. Real stakes. Within minutes, excitement flared across the tennis community. For the first time in years, 2 of the most electrifying players of their generation would be launching a season from the same launchpad. Gauff, the reigning heartbeat of American tennis, and Osaka, the global icon returning with renewed hunger. The tournament didn't need to market itself. Their names did the job. The announcement that stopped a morning. Coco Gauff was in Florida when she saw the official confirmation. She just wrapped a practice session, her shoes still dusted with clay, when her phone buzzed with the message from her agent. It's official. You're opening 2026 alongside Naomi. Gauff laughed out loud, half in excitement, half in disbelief. She knew the season opener mattered. It set a tone, a rhythm, a declaration. And starting it with Osaka on the same roster? That was a statement in neon lights. Across the ocean in Japan, Naomi Osaka received the same confirmation. The news flashed across her screen, and she raised her eyebrows with that familiar, playful grin, soft, sincere, but quietly full of fire. For her, this season opener was more than a tournament. It was a return chapter. Her daughter was now old enough to toddle around tennis courts, old enough to recognize cheering crowds on television. Osaka had spoken often about wanting to build a new legacy, not just as a champion, but as a mother, a mentor, a force still capable of redefining women's tennis. And here she was, beginning 2026 not in isolation, but in parallel with one of the brightest young champions of the era. The venue, a stage for new beginnings. The tournament, known throughout the tennis world for its electric atmosphere and brutally competitive early rounds, had landed the dream scenario. The organizers posted a simple graphic. See you in January. But beneath that minimal statement was a meaning that everyone understood. This was the stage for a generational moment. The venue prepared accordingly. Center court received new LED lighting. Seating was expanded. The practice courts were given fresh surfacing. Anticipation wasn't just high, it was historic. This wasn't merely a tournament. It was the tournament that would define the direction of the season. Gauff, the present meets the future. Coco Gauff stepped into the 2026 season with a mixture of confidence and responsibility. She had grown accustomed to headlines, to expectations, to the idea that millions watched her not just play tennis, but grow into the role of a leader in the sport. Her 2025 campaign had been a roller coaster, full of bold wins, hard lessons, and glimpses of brilliance that confirmed what many already believed, that Gauff was becoming the definition of modern tennis: speed, athleticism, intelligence, and relentless heart. Now she was gearing up for the first test of the new year. At Media Day, Gauff smiled in her trademark blend of humility and quiet ambition. "It's cool to start the year with Naomi," she said. "People don't realize it, but she inspired so much of my generation. And now we get to share the court again." She paused, then added with a grin, "I'm ready. 2026 is going to be big." Osaka, the return of a quiet storm. Naomi Osaka's presence at the season opener was more than a scheduling decision, it was a symbol. Every time she returned to the court after a break, she brought something new. Something matured. Something sharpened. But this time felt different. Reporters who saw her practice noted the intensity. Osaka's strokes were heavy again, effortlessly heavy, the way they were when she dominated Australia and New York. Her footwork looked smoother, her preparation more precise. And above all, she carried a serenity that only comes when an athlete has rediscovered her why. When asked about choosing this particular event as her starting point, she said, "I wanted to start somewhere meaningful. Somewhere competitive. Somewhere loud." Then she laughed. "And somewhere Coco is playing. That always makes things interesting." The rivalry without tension. The beauty of Gauff versus Osaka has never been in animosity. It's in contrast. Gauff's expressive energy versus Osaka's contemplative calm. Coco's lightning speed versus Naomi's thunderous power. One rising at 15, the other becoming a superstar at 20. Their careers had crossed before, most memorably at the US Open, where Osaka comforted a tearful Gauff after a tough defeat, turning a moment of heartbreak into one of sportsmanship that went viral across the world. Since then, fans had eagerly awaited their paths to align again. Now they finally would, but not as opponents. As co-headliners of a new tennis season. A rivalry built not on conflict, but on mutual uplift. What the tournament promises. With Gauff and Osaka in the draw, excitement skyrocketed. Analysts predicted the event would attract the highest ticket sales in the tournament's history, the largest streaming audience for an opening week event,